Time to fill your cup with Chelsea's chai.
Hello, hello, and happy Black History Month again. We are in week 2. Happy Friday to you. And we are on episode 4 of Chelsea's Chai. And it's going to be a goodie because the rest were also great. So here we are. I'm your host, Chelsea Grow, a comedian, artist, beautiful Black woman, just all those things. And I was just going to get right into the show. I always, for those of you who've been following along, thank you. And we are about to get into the opening segment, get into the bag. So this week, the B of the bag is boss up. And my boss up tip for this week is stick to your ground. All right. And what I mean by that is, as you grow and as you thrive, and I've been experiencing this in my own life recently, please don't be surprised if people try to come back into your life, right? That left for a reason or that you removed for a reason. I definitely have recently had some people that have done some really just awful things re-enter my life or attempt to re-enter my life. And me, for those of you who don't know, I'm an empath. Which means I'm a superhero. No, but I really am an empath. I'm very sensitive to people's energies and things like that. And unfortunately, I have come across some very emotional vampires in my life. And these people, they're the kind of people that come around someone like me who's very empathetic, who sees the best in people. Like I could see the best in Jeffrey Dahmer. Like not like that. Like don't get me wrong. Like Jeffrey Dahmer was an awful, psychopathic killer, but that's how deep my empathy goes, right? It's like that's why like I can watch a movie with a villain in it and I'm like, well, why is the Joker like that? Why did he like attack that man that way? Why is he still after Batman? And it's just like so unfortunately I've had these jokers, they come back in my life and then they're just like, "Hey Chelsea, I know I stabbed you in the back not that long ago, but hey, want to be friends?" And I'm like, "Ooh, I just don't have amnesia. It's just not there." So boss up and stick to your guns. Because the thing is people who do you dirty, they know once you like set that boundary and say you're not in my life anymore, they're always going to try to find an opportunity to worm their way back in. It may be through a favor. They may offer you, "Hey, do you need some chips? Hey, do you need a ride? Hey, do you need $20?" And it's like, you can take it or leave it, but whatever you do, make sure you set up those boundaries and do not let those people come back into your life, because that old saying is true: fool me once, shame on you; fool me twice, shame on me. Okay. And I'm not shaming myself. All right. So, boss up tip for the week: stand your ground. Don't let people who left your life for a reason worm their way back in. It's been a long pandemic. It's easy to get lonely. It's easy to look around and be like, "Ooh, it's cold out there." And this is Valentine's Day weekend, especially y'all this weekend. Those X's, let them be an X, okay? Don't go from X to Y to W. Like, well, what if? No, 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 honey. You know what if, okay? And that's why it's a no more. So yeah, just don't let them back. They're gone, and that's that. And the those people, I feel like a lot of times, it's a test. A lot of times, it is a test to see if you are really over that person in your life. And I'm not just talking about romantically. People in business relationships, friendships, even some family members you had to cut off. Like, you know, you did that for a reason. Trust your gut and stick to it. And I know it's gonna be a cold Valentine's Day weekend, but just don't call them. Okay. Like, I'd rather you get on a dating site, honestly, and just like find it, go on BOK or, Tinder, one of those things. And I'd rather you just swipe right and, have a fun time with that person. Cause at least that person didn't, take your heart and like, crush it like Thor. So, all right. So that is the boss up tip. We are going to move into the A of get into the bag, and that is the accounting segment. So we're going to go to our trusty senior account manager and old school friend, Miss Crystal Powell. And here is part 2 of her Black History financial tip. One last thing, and this is just something off the top of my head. I I, uh, I think recently I've been uh reclaiming my worth, healing from things in the past and stuff. And one of the things I personally I have realized is I was like, I didn't realize how much my financial situation was tied to how I viewed my self-worth, you know? And I think and I realize the more I take care of myself and the more that I invest in myself, it seems like the more and the less I think that's because I'm focusing more energy on myself, the less I'm worrying about money. It seems like the more money is coming to me, which is why I'm want to get knowledgeable about how to allocate it and everything like that. But do you think that financial health and self care are connected?
Absolutely. Absolutely. One is simply like being well helps you through the stressful times financially. It helps you cope with tight situations or stressful situations where you don't know how you're going to get to the other side of it. It helps you get through that and with a lower impact, like a physical impact or a mental impact than it would have if you just were not well. So that's one thing. And then two, manifestation is real. And so um my husband used to have kind of the ideology that he hated money. It's like, I hate money. I hate the concept of it. I hate what it does to people. And I get it. I totally understand that. But I was like, listen, you can't keep saying you hate money. Like if you had this person in your life that took care of you, helped you pay your stuff off, but you kept telling them that you hate them, how good do you think that person would be to you?
Ooh, that's a
They
word right
would,
there.
yes, they would not be good to you. You love money. You know you need it. You understand its necessity. You understand it as a tool that you have the power to wield and use to make sure that you're taken care of. You can take care of your goals. You can achieve things and stuff like that. You have to change your perspective, how you look at money, and manifest it in your life.
I'm excited for the future. This has been great. I'm gonna go ahead and let
Yeah.
you go. I know you got a whole family over there.
Well, there he sleep now. I can chill now. Actually, I have to work. I have to do some stuff for my business, but
Oh yes,
after that, I'll chill.
before I let you go, please share with everybody your social media handles, your every all your information, what you have going on over there from the East Coast. Please just let you do your thizzle.
Okay, so my bookkeeping business is Busy Bee Bookkeeping. All you busy bee business owners out there who don't have the time to organize your own stuff, I'll take care of that for you. My website is getbusybookkeeping.com. My Instagram is GETBUSYBOOKKEEPING. So you can follow me there. I also do like personal budgeting help under another business name, The Budget Squirrel. So you can find me on IG at The Budget Squirrel, spelled traditionally as well. So yeah.
Well, we thank you so much, Crystal Powell, for taking the time to chat with us here on Chelsea's Chai and give us some
Yeah.
accounting tips. And you'll be back with more, so we're excited about that. And yeah, I shall until next time. Thank you so much, Crystal. I was once again just a powerful tip about, you know, money and your mentality around it. It's so powerful. I'm still learning this. And I love that she shared that. And so yeah. Crystal will be back in the future, so stay tuned for more accounting tips. Now we're gonna move into the G part of getting the bag, which is growth, GREAUX, my last name. So like growth slash gratitude. So the gratitude that I'm gonna say for this week, and guys, right, guys, be grateful Even though you may be lonely, angry, upset, confused, or frustrated, be grateful anyway. Basically, I'm saying be grateful through the pain. Again, something else that I'm still learning myself. I'll be a little vulnerable with you guys. I'm 32. I have never had a Valentine on Valentine's Day in my life. Of course, my mom, or my dad when I was a kid, they looked out, blah blah blah. But I'm talking about as an adult woman, always been single on Valentine's Day. So if we go from 18, that's 14 Valentine's Days single. And it's already been lonely because of the pandemic, and I'm not gonna lie. I've had some moments where I'm just like, oh man, like dang, like 14 single Valentine's days. Like, really, At least I have, 14, February 14th. Who knows? Maybe this will be lucky. I don't know. But I just I had a moment the other day where I just was just like, man, I've been through a lot, like I had a knee surgery. I'm like, yeah, okay, God, I got knee surgery. I'm single. I'm 32. My right knee was acting funny the other day. Like, what's going on? Like, I just before before my knees be like, be me. I just like to, have a Valentine. Um, but I had to stop and remember gratitude. So instead, I thought about it and I realized I was like, I'm trying to flip thoughts. So I flipped the thought and I said, you know what, Chelsea, I know you've been single for 14 Valentine's days as an adult, but you have the rest of your life, however long God has decided that would be, to be open to possibilities. And on top of that, I've also realized that, yes, I have been single my whole adult life so far. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've dated guys, had casual things, whatever, but I'm talking about a long-term serious relationship, like a real like Valentine. And I realized I was like, I have had this time to really be in tune with myself. I learned a lot about myself. I'm still learning about myself. And let me tell you guys, I'm pretty complex, like I'm not like a boring chick. So, getting to know myself has been a thorough process. But on this Valentine's Day, my gratitude is that I am worthy of love. And I know that. And I think for a long time, because of my relationship status, I didn't think I was worthy of love. But I'm grateful that I know I am. And to all the single women out there and in single men, because everybody gets lonely. If you're spending this Valentine's Day alone, look at where the love is. All right. Be grateful for the love you do have in your life instead of focusing on the love that you think you don't have in your life. Because it's really all a myth, right? It's such a myth for people to think, oh my gosh, I only have like, I don't have enough love and I don't have a man, I don't have a girlfriend, da da da, with the love, Stop all that mess, okay? You got love in your life. And I know it may not be the kind of love that everybody wants, because, of course, everybody wants that romantic, eros, erotic, passionate love. But there's a reason, right? There's a reason. And I personally, as a woman who believes in God, I look at it as, okay, if I'm single, God's in control, then there's a reason God wants me single right now. And it may be a reason that I don't understand until much later. But, at the end of the day, I am grateful for the love I have in my life. I have love, of course, of my family, but I do have amazing friends and people who really, really love me. And then I thought about it too, and I was like, I'm grateful for my guy friends because I have got great guy friends. And, I may not be sleeping with any of them, but they still, even when it's not Valentine's Day, they will buy me free drinks. I'm getting free food. Like, I got homies that look out, free rides, and I don't have to do nothing. I don't have to kiss them, nothing. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that I may be single, but I have been treated like a kept woman somehow, some way this whole time. So, ladies, if you stop and you think about it, you're like, no, you know what? I don't have to sleep with people and I still get free drinks and I still get free rides. I still get free meals. So be grateful for the free and love and support that comes from the people that are in your life. And I think that the more you focus on that, the more that bigger, great love that you've wanted will come to you. So that is my gratitude growth tip for the week. And now we're going to get into my favorite segment of the show, Inside the Punchlines. So let's take a little gander into that. Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Chelsea's Chai. And we are about to get into one of my favorite segments here on Chelsea's Chai, Inside the Punchlines. And, today's guest, I'm really excited for you all to meet her. I actually met her when I first started doing stand up. Ironically, we met briefly at the Comedy Store. And her first piece of advice to me, she was like, if you really serious with this comedy thing, don't let none of these niggas have sex with you. Okay. She was like, keep it tight and stick to the jokes. So I am grateful that she gave me that advice. And I have, I ain't gonna lie, a couple of them have, come in, but I'll make sure I was funny first.
Look, I'm singing a new tune these days. I'm like, oh, I said that. But the thing is, I know who I am now. I know who I am in life.
Right.
So it's okay to dibble and dabble.
Right. You can't let them hit it before you know who you are, because then you'll leave LA. So it's like you gotta establish.
I'm me, you.
Okay. All right. I had a better set than you tonight, so we can
Exactly. Because it's always
Yes, yes. Well, let me introduce this lovely and hilarious queen. So as the daughter of a pastor, she grew up singing in the choir. She went on to study theater throughout high school and college. Her career in stand-up comedy began at California State University, Northridge, after placing in a national competition that she entered on an impulse. She's now been writing and producing her own comedy shows since 2009. She's been featured on All Def, True TV's Laugh Tracks, and Revolt TV's Funny AF, or Funny as Fuck. And according to her, ordinary life is full of humor. From socioeconomic conditions to body image obsession, she speaks from personal experience about real issues faced by real people. She offers a refreshing voice of empowerment, perspective, and healing through her craft. Her soulful delivery, matched with her quick wit, take you to a world that is reminiscent of legendary entertainers such as Sammy Davis Jr., Pearl Bailey, and Barbara Streisand. Her goal is to spread a simple message: you matter. I believe in embracing our differences and our uniqueness and being fully comfortable in whatever skin you're in. Johnny is passionate about artists' ability to create as a means of voicing internal and cultural revolutions. Musical inspirations and influences come from the likes of Shaka Khan, Erykah Badu, Jill Scott. Comedy inspirations and influences come from the likes of Dave Chappelle, George Carlin, and Wanda Sykes. Ladies and gentlemen, give a big round of applause for Miss Johnny Thompson.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Hey, girl, how's it going?
Hey, boo. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited. And congrats on your podcast. This is big. This is huge. And I'm not surprised. You are one hard working woman. So
Thank you, girl. Thank you, girl. Lately, I've been feeling like my liver's working hard, but but I'm working hard too.
Grab a drink. I mean, I'm over here drinking coffee. I should have had me a cocktail pulled up.
Oh yeah, girl. This is like some leftover tequila lemonade with a little bit of Corona seltzer on top. Just keeping it light and refreshing. Girl, how is life, girl? It has been a crazy, crazy year, crazy quarantine, but you have not slowed down at all. I gotta say, like you, to me, from what I've seen on Instagram, and just from seeing you, you have not slowed down. You have been moving and shaking. Like how? Briefly, give me a sum up of what this year of 2020 and quarantine's been like for you.
Well, it has been ups and downs, a lot of ebbs and flows, as I'm sure everyone has experienced during this time. In terms of the creativity and I would say just growing my digital platforms during this time, I felt like it's been beneficial for a person like me who I work best when it's like kind of quieter around me. So for instance, like I probably can knock out my best work at after midnight because everybody else is asleep, So
Amen. Okay.
And yeah, while a lot of people have taken some time off, I feel like it's opened up the doors for me to be a little bit more inspired, but also have a lot more support when it comes to things like production. So a lot more people are available to work who aren't necessarily consumed with the Hollywood projects and things of that nature. So linking with people who are passionate about it too. I feel like anybody who's risking it all right now to create some content. They're pretty passionate people, and to me, that's like-minded energy that I love to be around. Um, it's been an interesting time, but I'm grateful for it all around. I'm grateful. I'll also say it revealed to me a lot of where my real support is. I definitely lost some support during this time when you speak about some of the heavier issues. So, I would say previous to this time, there was a point in my life where I was considered a little more political and a little more radical in those sense. But I had to kind of be a little bit more behind the scenes, not be as vocal, I would say. Um, Out of there's some things there that have happened, I would say legally, but during this time, uh, there was too much going on to where I couldn't, not really let people know how I felt, and a lot of people were not. I shouldn't say a lot, but there were a good group of people who just couldn't handle my truth and my feelings and expressions, and I was glad to see them go. So,
Amen. Okay.
mhm.
Chuck a deuce, because one thing this year taught us ain't no reason for us to bite our tongues. Donald Trump never did. You
Ever.
know, hello. Well, let's get into this. I'm so glad that mentioned that, and like issues and stuff like that. And I love your message about you matter is like you're the inspiration behind your comedy. Because this is I'm excited to play this because honestly, I had never heard this specific bit before of yours before, and this one is actually I call it a vintage bit.
Okay.
This one is from it says it was from like about like 9 years ago, 8 years ago. So but it's still funny, and it has a views on a lot of views on YouTube. So I'm like it's an oldie but a goodie because I had to play it. So I'm not gonna give you any descriptions, but basically what we're gonna do, the purpose of Inside the Punchlines for you to know is I like having comedians on here. We pull material from an infinite amount of places, and so I think that like a lot of times people will see a comedian, they'll see them perform, and they'll make them laugh and make them feel good and make them feel revived, but they'd have no idea that some of those bits that are making you cry out of laughter came from some crazy thing. Sometimes it came from pain, sometimes it came from just an observation, or sometimes a momentary situation. So let's play this bit. And this first one out of the three we're gonna play today, and and then we'll talk about it.
All right.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get into this first bit of yours. I'm really excited. This is like an oldie but a goodie. It's from I think 8 years ago, but it's so funny and it's still getting views on YouTube. So let's go ahead and play it and have a listen, shall we?
Let's do it.
It's hard being a big girl out here in LA. People feel like they can come up to me and say the first thing that comes to their mind, and it's supposed to be some type of compliment. Hey, precious. Disrespect. I hate it. It's hard too. The skinny women, y'all make it hard. Y'all like to play little games. Like when we get dressed to go out, y'all want to play games like, oh, I have a shirt you can wear. No, you don't. Not if you want to wear it again, Not unless it's made of Lycra and Miracles. I just don't see it happening. Charlotte Russe is gonna be Charlotte Loose by the time I'm done. Just knock it out. I'm at this place in my life. I've decided I am not gonna work out anymore, and I'm not gonna try to eat healthy. It's too expensive. I went to Whole Foods and spent my whole check, $45, and all I had was some almonds and some water. It was organic though, so I felt a little bit better about it. I feel like since I'm not really willing to put in the work, I gotta strategize. So now I hang out with chicks who are bigger than me. It does something for my self-esteem, it really does. I walk in the room and they be like, Look at Lindsay Lohan walking in here. So when we get dressed to go out, I'm like, you know what? I think I got a shirt you can wear.
Woo, yes, definitely an oldie but goodie.
Yeah, no, but like that bit is like it is so funny because it's like you taped that around the time I met you and it's still funny. It's like
You.
yeah. So tell us what led to that bit because that's I so many women can relate to that bit. I mean, I have my weight has fluctuated throughout the years. Like I have been as high as 220 and I've been as small as like 115. Like I've done over since a teenager to like now. It's been like this. So
Yeah.
I know what it's like to be the biggest friend and like have all my friends be like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm sure," and they say like, "I'm sure I have something," and they're like hoping they find one of their ex boyfriend's old T-shirts or whatever. And you're like, girl, just just get some Saran wrap. We're gonna make it a crop top at this point.
Right?
Yeah, but like, tell me what. So that was 8 years ago. You were in a completely different space, I'm sure, a completely different time of your life. But at that time that you wrote that bit, I'd love to hear what was the motivation.
Definitely rooted in real life experience, observation here in LA. So I was probably about 250 pounds at that time. And I do remember being like specific incidences, going to like a Dodgers game and the seats literally pinching my hips, like having to like unhinge myself out, like, what the fuck? Going to Century City Mall, the escalators, pinching my hips, like what type of, and I was just like, what is this city? Is it me like getting bigger, or is this city really designed for skinny people, for skinny bodies? Definitely always had the girls growing up, cousins, friends with the bullshit. I got something you can wear. Like that was a real thing. And every time I just couldn't believe that they believed I could fit their clothes. Definitely for me, it was, I want to say that was one of probably the first joke, like even listening to it, I'm like, that was probably one of the first like structured jokes that I had where I'm like, there's a punchline, setup, a callback, tags, like it was a full, and I'm like, I don't even know at that time if I had taken like, I did take David Arnold's stand-up comedy. I don't know if I had taken it when I wrote that joke, but hearing it, there's a level of like feeling like, yeah, I'm supposed to be doing this, like just knowing
Yeah.
to do something like, something like that. Yeah, just a real space. I was always big on being empowered in my size. So like growing up, not being comfortable in my size, not being comfortable in my skin, so many things that I kind of had to change the narrative where it's like, I'm sorry, this is who I am. And boom, 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 boom. It just changed a lot for me.
I love that you brought that up because you're so right. Like changing the narrative, and that's exactly what we were talking about earlier is perspective. Like you had two choices. You could have looked at yourself in a negative light, but I like that you flipped it. You're like, I just hang out with girls bigger than me.
You know what I mean? Like that's what you gotta do.
And that's real too. So many like women don't want to admit it, but that's when you in a certain state in your life. That's how it be. And so
the T.
That exactly. So yeah, girl, that is, man, that was so funny and so honest and very, very relatable. Well, let's fast forward to a sooner time. So this next bit of yours, this is from your funny as fuck set with Revolt TV. And so I'm just gonna hit play and then we will enjoy and discuss.
All right.
When you big, you make excuses. Oh, I should have put these jeans in the dryer. That's not it, sis. I can say this because I actually, most of my life was spent overweight. I recently lost 70 pounds. Thank you. Thank you. A lot of people ask, how did you do it? For starters, I lost my EBT. Ooh, God is good. Yeah. Now, real talk, like when I had EBT, I felt like a boss. Felt like a true millionaire, you know, just throw it in the bag. Name brand everything, you know? Keebler, Pepperidge Farm, Nabisco, what? Kraft, Kellogg's. Now it's just Great Value, Kroger. You know, I'm much more humble in my approach now, right? But I want to give a big shout out to, there's a company here that gives back. Their philanthropy is on point. It's called Costco. Yeah. They have a free lunch program every day. Every day. Look, you game though. You gotta work for it. Take notes. It's a 3-step process, all right? Step 1, humiliation. Okay? You know how humiliating it is to circle Costco for 45 minutes waiting for half of a chicken nugget? How poor are you? You know? Step 2 is impersonation. You gotta go back because you still hungry. That half a nugget didn't do nothing. Now you gotta go back. You got characters, you know what I mean? You gotta go ahead and put on your hoodie, do a little walk, put an up in your back. Can I have another one? Yes, making that family merch. For my grandma, yes, the Filipino lady in the back. You tap into your Juilliard acting skills, acting like you never had this before. Oh my God. Welch's makes grape juice? I must have another, right? You working hard now. Step 3, this is where it counts. That intimidation, all right? It's gonna be down to that last piece of a chimichanga, all right? It's gonna be you and that old lady Gladys, all right? She's your elder, but you were there first. You know, you reach out your arm, she reaches out hers. And then you choke her.
Fun times.
Oh, I'm back. Girl, that was so funny and again, relatable. Like, yeah, like I mean, we've all definitely had some budgetary weight loss results, and that is, you know,
That budgetary weight loss.
okay, you know, and that's all it is. And but so it's interesting listening to your first bit from 8 years ago, where you're talking about being a bigger girl, and then here you are, and this was taped last year, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, so this was taped last year, and so now that like 7-8 years after that original bit, here you are just talking it. Now you're on the other side of it, like you're talking about like I used to be a big girl. So like that, how does that? I would definitely want to hear your process on this bit, but I would love for you to touch on also the how that felt, because I'm sure when you were writing this bit, I mean, we never forget our old bits. We never forget anything. It's a gift and a curse. But yeah, so yeah, just please elaborate. I would love to.
So yeah, that bit definitely another one rooted in 100% truth. Being in this city, EBT is something that I was blessed to have a few times in my life. And there were some seasons where I did not have it. And I truly did realize, you know, those things of like, ooh, I got what they say, champagne taste, but a beer budget.
Yes.
You know? So I'm a bougie bitch when it comes to the taste, girl. You already know. I'm a
girl. I be buying goat cheese, and I'm on a craft budget for real. But I'm like, no, I want the imported goat cheese.
I'm over here trying to get arugula when I got an iceberg. Budget. You see what I'm saying? Like, girl, if you don't go ahead and get this 29 cents
that iceberg
per pound, you know, what is you doing? Like, girl. So definitely another thing where it just was like taking things that people might be embarrassed about, you know, like there was a time where like I remember like maybe trying to like hide the back of that yellow part in the car where it's like, I don't want these people behind me to know, you know what I mean? Like how I'm paying for this food. But once again,
you try to stand in front of the card machine, you try to just swipe it like
right? Kind of like it's a private conversation between you and the card swiper. Listen, but but look, I'll shoot if I could give you tea right now, I would. But yeah, taking that, that power back of like, there's nothing wrong with a government assistance, and there's nothing wrong with talking about socioeconomics, because when I'm in spaces where I do that joke and it's like that's the first time somebody has ever even heard of EBT, like it lets me know once again, like I'm supposed to be here. Like I'm in these spaces to not just share my story, but that the stories of a lot of people who I've had people message me, um not people, but one person messaged me like,
Right.
I've had people, it was one person, and they had just experienced like eviction. And they were like, I saw one of your jokes and you were talking about, and it just, they were like, it shifted their whole mood perspective of like, if this person can get up there and laugh and talk about it, then I'll be okay. So taking those moments that may have initially been rooted in some kind of pain, whether it's the pain of like, damn, I ain't really got it like that, or I should be further along in my life than this, or whatever it
Oh,
is,
preach, girl.
right? Taking those things to be like, I know I'm not the only person out here like this. So, rooted in that, definitely that good old Costco. Yes, samples are life, and all those experiences very real.
Girl, and I love that you brought up the Costco thing because, girl, my dad put me up on that game years ago. I remember my dad said that when he was young and, he was just kind of, didn't have a lot of money before he was all, where he is now. He said, man, he used to work across the street from a Costco and he was trying to save money. Like he could afford to buy lunch, but he was trying to save money. So he was like, what can I do to finagle? So he would just go on over to Whole Foods. He said hit him with 3-4 laps. And this is back in the day when Whole Foods had whole entrees out. Okay.
See,
They would have like a little mini beef stroganoff over rice, like in a cup.
got a whole little, these is tapas, okay? These ain't samples.
That's what I'm saying. Straight tapas. And it's like, that's what my dad would do. He's like, man, 3-4 laps around at Costco, man, you set. He said, I'm good. That's lunch.
You could get full. And if you still not full, go ahead, spend your little $1.50, get your little hot dog and refills of soda. That was back.
There we go. This
but
is why Black people have survived. We have been forced to be creative in so many survival situations. But thank you for like elaborating on that bit and what inspired it, and thank you for addressing the fact that like, yeah, again, you took something that was painful at the time, because no one likes feeling like, damn, I can't just go out and just get what I want to get. I can't just go out and buy like even a Subway sandwich. For some people, it's like, damn, I can't do that right now.
Right. And then the follow-up to what was it like, to transition from like the previous joke to now this newer voice in my comedy. Initially, it was hard. I definitely, like a lot of people, body dysmorphia, very real. So I didn't even really wasn't aware how different physically, I looked. I just, spent most of my life being considered not even just plus size, but obese, actually. Like doctors would be like, you're obese every time I would go to the doctor. So for me, it took me a minute to even like transition to wearing different size clothes. And like, so I was still doing material like joke one. And the audience, it was just like not hitting the same. Like those punchlines were now awkward silences, where it's like the audience was like, what is she talking about? To where like those used to be my pause breaks. Yeah. So it took me some time to realize like, okay, you can't do these types of jokes anymore like that, because it comes off now as fat shaming, which is not what I'm trying to do. You know what I mean? So like finding a creative way to say, hey, this is an experience I've had and still do. I mean, I'm still plus size. I'm still a size 16, probably quarantine 18. You know what I mean? I didn't want to draw size, girl. I'm like, how the fuck you go up? But you only supposed to bought draws like once every 10 years. Like when, girl, panties don't fit. So You know, I still consider myself, and not just me, but clothing stores and sizes, I am still very plus size. So, you know, but learning how to speak more about my specific, like, okay, not only am I plus size, but I'm tall. I'm a big woman overall. So what's it like being a big woman? What's it like when it comes to dating, being a big woman and the average size man is 5'9"? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so so it's been a journey, but I believe that's what comedy should be. Like, I think as we evolve, our comedy should too. So like for me, I get kind of like weirded out when I see like a 50-year-old comedian talking about being in the club. It's like,
right. You like,
you know, something like those jokes it's like something is off. You know, like,
sir, I go to clubs. You went to Studio 54 when it was open.
let's talk about this, you know? So it just lets me know that's the theme of it. Once again, I'm where I'm supposed to be, you know, like,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. And I'm glad that, because the thing is, the audience for comedians can sometimes be a mirror. That's another good thing about being a comedian too, is the audience will be your mirror. Cause yeah, like, I mean, I have a bit where I talk about how I lost, when my first year in LA, I lost like 40 pounds or 50 pounds or something like that, crazy, because I was just broke and couch surfing, and I was like, oh, I lost all this weight on this diet called Struggle, right?
yeah.
And then, but when I also too, I was dressing kind of really bummy too, because I had just moved to LA, didn't have a steady place to stay. I was sleeping in my car. So a lot of times I'm on stage, I'm wearing no makeup, hair's messed up, got on an oversized t-shirt and some leggings, or like, just wasn't put together. I was literally, so that joke always hit, because I'd say I'm on the struggle that people look at me like, oh, clearly, but then, life goes on, things work out, you get an apartment, you get a job that pays you a little more, and then you go on stage and I'm looking nice because I'm like caring about my appearance. I have the energy and the money to care about my appearance. And I go on stage and say the struggle died, and people looking at me like, bitch, you look like you got more money than me. What are you talking about?
Right.
And I didn't realize, how is it this joke is so funny? But it's the audience is mirroring you and reminding you, reflecting in you, like, no, like how you saw yourself at the time you first wrote that joke, that's not what you're giving off now. And it's good because it forces you to evolve. It's like a relationship, it's like if somebody's mirroring you and saying, hey, what you're putting out there is not actually what the tea is. Like, you actually, and so, and we all have our own like views of our own bodies, but what you were saying earlier, that joke wasn't hitting later on because you don't look like a big girl anymore. You look great. You know what I'm saying? You just skin always glowing. We always had good skin, but it's just,
Thank you.
But yeah, so it's nice that you recognize that. And I think that's good. It's kind of like the audience is going to be just as honest with you, as you are with them.
Absolutely.
Well, we've come to that time. It's time for our last bit to discuss of Janae's. This has been a great discussion so far. I've really enjoyed myself, and looking forward to this last bit. This one is also from your Funny as Fuck set that from Revolt TV. So we'll get it cracking. Oh, sorry. There's an ad.
Oh, no.
Johnny, that's how you popping. Okay, your set's got ads in front of them. Okay, you be like some people. You click on it.
Revenue though, like the revenue.
Right, you're right. Where's my cut?
Yeah, I'm trying to get that young.
I'm just a gang member by nature. You know what I mean? I'm from the mean streets of San Diego. Splish, splash. You know what I'm saying? Shamu. What? Cowabunga cuz. You know what I mean? Shoot. But I come from a family full of thugs. We still try to do cute family bonding stuff like game night. But it always turns into a fight night, right? We like to play this game called Taboo. Y'all know that game? It's my jam. But every time we play, we just got to get rude with it. We got to use somebody in the family as an example, right? Simple stuff. Oh, this is something that Tyrell has. Here's my family. An alcohol problem. Herpes. 5 kids by 5 baby mamas. Like, first of all, it's one word, not a phrase. And you really think the creators at Milton Bradley was like, we're gonna throw that card in, 5 kids by 5 baby mamas. Like, knock it off. It's ridiculous.
Yes, I love that bit because that is just a fun bit about family, you know? That is a fun, and man, please tell us, obviously your family was an inspiration, but just please elaborate on that bit because like I said, the first 2 bits we talked about, I know you said that those stem from like pain and experiences and things like that, but this just sounds like a fun, funny observation that you made material out of.
Yeah, my family, by the way, like I think that was the joke that ever since then they're always like, be careful, don't do nothing around her. She gonna put you in your set, but my family, a lot of fun, a lot of comedians, like just everybody has a great sense of humor. For the most part though, like we really have no qualm though. We don't really have like a boundary when it comes to how far we go, we take it. You can't really be sensitive in my family. You cannot. So that is really how we play taboo. Like that's just how we play. So when you give somebody, like once you, so let's say they're like, this is something that Chelsea is, like you're gonna hear stuff like a crackhead, like they just start saying all types of stuff. And like some of it is really true. And you just be like, it's, I don't know if we're overly competitive.
This is something Charles is on parole.
It's very, yeah. We thugs.
Oh my gosh, y'all are like taboo thugs.
Taboo thugs in these streets.
Yes.
Like we're gonna, like, for real, it has gotten to the point where people have left the family gathering, the function in the middle of it's just like, y'all play too much, y'all always, and then it's awkward, and now they kids is mad, and then now, it's
I love it. And everything doesn't know because everybody, and I think most comedians specifically, I feel like 9 times out of 10, the funnier comedian you are, it's like the more crazier your family is, or more, unique or interesting, or the more painfully normal your family is. It's either or. It's like either your family was so painfully normal that you're the black sheep that was like, I got to do stand up, or your family was so crazy you're like, somebody's got to hear about this. I can't just experience this on my own.
Facts.
I love it. Oh, so funny. I'm so glad we ended on that one. Something light. Every bit doesn't come from like traumatic, horrible pain. Some bits is just like, my uncle is crazy. Okay. And somebody has to hear about this. Okay.
Absolutely. And I will say, even the jokes that were rooted in pain or trauma, very short-lived for me. I've always been able to easily get over, pain, like through laughter. So even while I'm going through something, I'm gonna find the joke in it. Like, it's just weird. Like, people are always like, what? You just found out you're about to be evicted. What? You just found out, you just got diagnosed with, and it's like look at God. God is so funny, like, yeah. You got to be a crazy person to really do comedy. And
right. None of us are sane. And I just want everyone to know, none of us are. I feel like, who knows what comedians were birthed out of this pandemic, because they just literally were like, I can't take it anymore.
Seriously. That's all it takes.
Yeah. Well, that's all it takes, and I'm just so grateful for you coming on the podcast today. And thank you, John A., for letting me get inside your punchlines. And
you can get inside my punchline anytime, boo.
Okay. All right. I know that's right. Okay. We'll talk about more off camera.
Yeah, the pandemic then changed some things.
Okay.
Anybody else became gay during the pandemic? Huh? Okay. Normalize giving your gay homeboy some pussy. I'm gonna end on that.
And on on that note, Johnny, tell everybody where they can find you. Like also give you social media handle, anything you got coming up, anything you want to share, please, yes.
I hang out the most on Instagram. That's Jonnae the Queen, JONNAETHE Queen. Follow me on Twitter at Jonnae Thompson. Please follow me on YouTube, subscribe. Definitely trying to build my little channel, get some monetization. What they say, where the money reside, where the money reside. That's what
I'm that's where I reside.
That part. So follow me. Just my name is one of those names. When you type it in, it'll take you where you want to go. So just support me however you feel. And I love it all.
Well, on that note, thank you so much, Jonnae. And y'all, please follow her on social media. Subscribe to her YouTube channel. She's got so many more great bits and videos on there. And, with all this pandemic stuff going on, stay tuned because comedy ain't going nowhere, y'all. We're bringing you the content. So stay plugged in. And thank you again, Jonnae. And thank you so much for listening to this edition of Inside the Punchlines. Bye. Thank you, Jonnae. Great, hilarious comedian, wonderful woman, amazing human being. Please follow her on social media and everything. She's great, as you guys already just saw. And yeah, definitely I'm looking forward to, just more of her content because she's always putting stuff out there. So stay tuned. And now it has come to the time for us all to grow up. All right. So this week, my grow up tip. As you can imagine, there's been a lot of pregnancies and a lot of, of course, gender reveals. And my grow up is for people doing outrageously dangerous gender reveal parties. There was a gentleman who died. 26-year-old guy went to a friend's gender reveal party and he died because the cannon had gunpowder in it and it exploded and went in his direction and he died from his injuries in the hospital later. Now, this is my grow up because I am really I'm really sick and tired of hearing gender reveal side effects. Like, why did somebody have to die because you wanted to get like a lot of likes on an Instagram video revealing whether you're having a boy or a girl? Like, I don't understand that. And this isn't the first time this has happened. I'm sorry. I had the article up. Don't have it up now. Sorry. But yeah, the gentleman died. He was 26 years old and he just was there and he just died because a cannon, because people are using these cannons. And let us not forget, I don't know if you all were aware, but last year in like the late summer, early fall, there was another couple who was up in like the mountains of California and they did a gender reveal with a cannon. And it triggered a fire that burned 10,000 acres. It was millions of dollars in damage that they caused. Millions of dollars just so they could get another like couple of likes. All right. So this is why you all need to grow up. You need to grow up because listen, you need to stop getting your validation outside of yourself. Okay. I get it. Having a baby, I'm sure is very, very exciting and it's beautiful. I'm happy that you're having babies and blah, 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 especially because if you're having babies, that means I'm not having one right now, which is great for me right now, not the time, but please stop getting cannons and rockets and flames and freaking like just stop it, please. Like, I don't understand. Like, that's the thing. Like, who cares if you get 10,000 likes or 50,000 shares if somebody died at your gender reveal, or if you set fire in a blaze and burn people's homes because of your gender reveal. Like, it seems like every other week somebody gets seriously injured or maimed or killed or there's a fire or there's an issue because of a doggone gender reveal. Just send out the tweet, we're having a boy. Ooh, like you can attach blue confetti to it, pink confetti, like I don't care. But just stop doing these exaggerated gender reveals. Like, what happened to the basic gender reveals? Like, you take it to the bakery and you give them the envelope. Hey, make the inside of the cake blue for boy, pink for girl, right? Like, just what happened to that stuff? I don't know when all these fireworks and stuff came in. And that's another thing, okay? Some of y'all people with these little like celebratory fireworks, like I've never lived in a city where fireworks is just like as common as like Coca-Cola. Like, y'all be out here just blasting. It'd be a Tuesday. You're like, bing, bing, like it's too much and it's too dangerous. I mean, I remember when the Lakers won the championship at the end of last year, and let me tell you something. I was excited too, especially because Kobe died last year, and it was like, okay, cool, like full circle. Kobe died, we went through COVID, and then LeBron brought the championship, and that was an exciting time. And I'll go down the Staples Center to celebrate, and everywhere I look, somebody sent off a firework, telling me, "Oh, watch out, watch out!" No, you watch out. That is a lethal weapon. Why are you setting it off with thousands of people in your perimeter? Like, anyway. Please grow up and stop going over the board with these celebrations and these gender reveals. Like, be safe, guys, please. It is so like it's imperative. Like, who cares about the likes? Okay, a like does not equal a life. And that's how I'm going to wrap up this week's Grow Up. Tune in next week. We will have a lot more content and a lot more things to talk about. So until then, salud, cheers, y hasta luego. All right.